Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today it's quite an interesting one, a long-awaited day. Let's put it that way. We're going to be collecting the engine for Stevo the Evo. So the block, pistons, and crank. We're all at Night Engine Services. I wanted the sleeved block to be looked over and really sort of, you know, looked at by someone who knows what they're doing, not someone that, you know, has never dealt with a sleeved Evo 10 before. So Ross Sport advised me that there's only one place to go, and that was Night Engine Services in Northampton. So yeah, they've given it the go-ahead, they've gone over it, and everything's good and all machined, ready to go. So we're off up to get the engine. It's a big old drive. I'm pretty much, well, I'm in Wales, the Welsh valleys, as you can tell. I'm going around all the little mountains to get out here right now. But Night Engine Services just north of London, I think it's Northampton. So a big old drive for me. And I was planning on going to work, as you can tell from my uniform, but the weather's not with us today. So I thought I'd spend the day going and getting the Evo engine. So probably an 8 or 9 hour round trip, but we'll have the engine back and we can get Stevo on the road by the end of today. Now, I've spoken to Dave and he said that we can actually make a video when we get there. So look forward to that. We'll be able to show you guys the setup he's got there, and maybe we can explain a bit of the process behind getting this sleeve block ready, and the crank and everything ready to actually go together. So I've got to munch up some miles now. I'll turn the camera off and I'll see you in about 5 hours, 4 hours time. So we've been in the car for a few hours. We saw signs for Chipping Norton, and me and my brother were like, I'm sure we recognise that from somewhere. So we figured out it was Jeremy Clarkson's farm. So we put it into the sat nav and we're only actually 10 minutes away. We're going to just drive to his farm and just see if the farm shop's open. Show me over there. I don't know if it's open. Yeah, as I thought, the shop is actually shut, but you can see over there is the farm shop. So yeah, we've been here. Might pop back when it's open. I think it opens in March, but for today we're going to go back on now and get that engine block. So I'm here now at Northampton in Night Engine Services to get the block, pistons, head studs and the crank. I've just been in to settle the bill, so I'll show you around so you can sort of get an idea of where the engine's been. So yes, here we are, Night Engine Services. This is where my Evo engines have been. I actually forgot, I got 2 blocks here, but one of them was uneconomical, wasn't it? So the one with the spine, the one with the spun main. So we'll go inside now and we'll have a look at the engine parts. So here we are within Night Engine Services. As you can imagine, it's full of engines. I've never seen a valve that big in my life, and that's a pretty big piston. Do you know what that piston is off?
No idea, mate, no.
Looks like it's off like a, was it a cruise ship or something, is it?
Yeah, it's a cargo ship.
The cargo ship piston, blinking heck, look at that. It's a scale. So anyway, we're going to take a look at my engine parts now. Over here we've got my crankshaft, which has been prepared by Night Engines. So we've had it all polished and reground, and it's all pretty much ready now to have some new ACL bearings on it. Got all the information on there as well, so I can order the correct bearings. Obviously we'll do some checks when we build the engine, but that is my crank. So we'll come over here now to look at my block. It's currently on the bore machine. So as with any good experienced Evo engine machine shop, they will know, you know, to put a torque plate on the 4B engine, it is required to get the perfect, you know, specs, because I think the sleeves, they oval. So I phoned around a few shops. I did ask around. Rossport said give Dave a ring, and immediately he was telling me everything I knew I needed to hear, such as he's going to put a torque plate on it, and yeah, I just knew he was going to do it the way it should be done. So this is my actual block. Inside we've got the dart and sleeves as well. They've actually cleaned the block up. So yeah, pretty much ready now to start assembling the engine. I think we'll have to gap the rings, order some bearings, and then pretty much just build it out when we get it all back at home. Over there on the side we got a pretty sorry looking block. That is the one that spun a main out of the Evo, so it's uneconomical to repair really, but we're going to keep it just in case. Yeah, so that's my engine covered, so let's just take a little bit of a tour around the rest of the workshop. So we've got obviously a big variety of equipment here. They do all sorts of different engines, not just Evos. As you can see, they've got inline 4, this looks like a push rod engine. We've got V8, is that inline 5? So inline 6, so yeah, a big variety of engines here. From what I gather, they seem to start at this end of the workshop, and then they slowly work their way as they're sort of processed. They get to the other end of the workshop. So you see all the blocks here waiting to be worked on. I've got a big old block here. More machines. We've got over here all the crankshafts from customers, which are in a queue to be processed. But through here, this is, oh actually before we go there, here is a V8 which is currently on a machine setup being bored. So as you can see, all the work's being done on that. So as we come through here, there is an area here where they clean the engine parts. Now my block is being cleaned. You can try and do it yourself in the garage with brake cleaner or whatever, but it's very difficult to do it properly. Because here they've got the proper engine parts cleaners. You can see here pistons and conrods. They've obviously just been cleaned. They're looking pretty good. If we go through here, a large variety of machines. I can tell what that is. Obviously that's a flywheel that's about to be resurfaced. So yeah, they do everything here. Let's take a look through here. So we come into the cylinder head room now. We've got quite a few interesting cylinder heads. Like, look at that. That's just a block of steel in there. It's like the most rectangle cylinder head I've ever seen. But looks like an inline 6 of some sort. But let's have a look at some of the equipment. I'm no expert, but I can figure out pretty much what's going on. Now here they are recutting the valve seats. So this is a Land Rover head, they were saying, and they're just basically overhauling the cylinder head so that the valves can go in and have a really nice seal. Here the same again. This is an old MG head. So they're redoing the valve seats on that MG. This machine here, they were explaining that they bolt the cylinder head down there, and then they can actually skim the cylinder head then with this machine. So that's like a rotating blade type thing, and it will like skim the cylinder head. And then this machine is what they use to pressure test the cylinder head. So sometimes there's internal cracks in the cylinder head. You might have coolant leaks or any type of leak really. So this will actually pressure test it. They seal it all up, and if there's any air bubbles coming out, they know then that the cylinder head is leaking somewhere. So yeah, there's another head there, another head there, and yeah, ones here that look like they're probably coming to the end of their processing. So yeah, now's the time I'm going to actually load up my car now and put all these engine block, the crank and everything, and take it home. A big thank you to Night Engine Services for allowing me to film around, and I'm sure you guys have enjoyed getting a little bit of an insight into what goes on in these machine shops. As I have mentioned, all of the proper Evo guys highly recommend Night Engineering. So if you've got a block that needs working on, a cylinder head that needs working on, don't hesitate to bring it down here. They know exactly what they're talking about. And as I said, I already knew from my own research that my block needed a torque plate. It was not optional. So when I phoned around a few different engine shops, some of them were like, yeah, we'll just chuck it on the machine, don't worry about it. Dave was like, no, you need to use the torque plate. So that's just one example really of, you know, why they are so well regarded. They do know what they're talking about. So yeah, I'm going to head off now. I've got a long drive home, and hopefully you enjoyed the update, and lots of content now coming on the Evo rebuild. Cheers guys.